Hey everyone, I'm Carla from Carla Arlene Creations, and I have been creating and designing a table centerpiece. I was asked to create this, and I was given full range of how I wanted to make it and design it and everything. The person was looking for something to put on their kitchen table. It's actually a dining room table, but they don't have a dining room. And they wanted a centerpiece. And so I took their love of baking and also the fact that they love Harry Potter, and I created my own table centerpiece. Now, this has several different pieces into it. This video will show you how I created the floral part of it. There's also a fake bake cake that goes in the middle of the centerpiece, and then there are two golden snitches that go on either end of the centerpiece, and those have their own video. So I hope you enjoy watching how I created the floral part. First, I'm going to take this piece of styrofoam. Um, it's a 2-pack sheet that is, let's see, um, almost 12 by 48. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to use one of these and I'm going to cut it in half to make my floral centerpiece. And first I'm going to measure this just so I can figure out where halfway is, because I want to cut this in half and then glue the two pieces together to make it a little higher. Okay, so it's almost 48. So half of 48 would be 24. So I'm just going to mark this in a couple places. And then I'm going to use a straight edge to try and figure out where to cut it. And then I'm going to use one of my kitchen knives and cut this in half. So it didn't quite cut off exactly how I wanted it, but I'm just going to trim this little edging. And it's really not going to matter because you're not going to see this. Actually, just cover this up. And you'll never see the little piece that didn't cut off right. Next, I'm going to grab my glue gun. I'm going to heat up my glue gun. So while my glue gun is heating, I am going to work on another piece of this project. This project actually has 3 different types of crafting that I'm doing. It has floral arrangement. I'm also doing a fake bake for this arrangement, and I'm also using my Cricut to bring it all together. So what I'm going to do is I have this, this is a cake board, and it's 10 inches in diameter, and I want to cover the top of it with using a piece of cardstock that I have, that I cut this piece out, and I want to Mod Podge this onto this. So I'm going to use, I have Mod Podge brushes. These are great whenever you're trying to do anything with Mod Podge. They come very clean. So I'm just going to put Mod Podge on this cake board. And I just want to cover the cake board so that when I adhere the paper on, it will stick. The circle of the paper is a little bit bigger than the cake board, but that's okay, because you're really not going to see the cake board once we get it into the floral arrangement. And I'm just waiting for my glue gun to get hot so that I can glue these 2 styrofoam pieces together. And what we're going to, like I said, we're going to glue this onto this one. And then this will actually go in the middle, because we're going to put a cake in the middle of our flower arrangement. I think our hot glue gun's hot, so I'm just going to take some hot glue and go around and put glue on here. And then I'm going to glue these 2 pieces together. And I just lined up the edging. This edging I didn't worry about, because like I said, this is all going to be covered up when I am done. So, yep, our styrofoam is glued together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this on top. And let's see here. So we have 24 inches, kind of the center of this. Let's see. This is 10, so 5 is where the T is in the night sky. So yeah, we have that kind of in the middle. I'm not going to glue this on yet, but I'm going to just let it sit here while I start adding flowers. And I have a variety of flowers that are red and yellow. I was wanting to do this mostly in carnations, but because I couldn't get enough red carnations, I went and got different red flowers. So I'm going to incorporate all of them into this floral arrangement. kind of want to go around the cake some just to get it situated, and then I'll go further out. You can do this in any colors. The reason I chose red and yellow is I was asked by a friend of ours to make them a table centerpiece. And being I know that they love to cook, especially baking, and they also love Harry Potter, especially the character Harry Potter, and they consider themselves part of Gryffindor. So I'm doing the Gryffindor color scheme of the red and gold, and then just adding a few extra pieces in, which you will see as I develop this. To make it a Harry Potter floral arrangement fake bake. Now, if you have somebody who loves Harry Potter, but they like Slytherin or Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw, then you can always add in those houses' colors by substituting them for the red and the gold. Okay, I'm going to take this off, and that way I can just work on the flowers and what I want to put in. Before I started doing this, I took my flower bouquets and I cut them all apart so that each flower was separate. Now I'm just trimming up the stems so that I can add them in. Okay. So I'm just going to continue adding flowers, mixing them in. And I'm also going to grab some deco mesh. Okay, so I already cut out some red deco mesh and got it ready, and I'm going to cut out some yellow so I can show you how I did the red. So I'm taking my yellow deco mesh and I'm cutting 8-inch pieces. Now I'm not going to do as many of the yellow as I did of the red. And I'll just add them as I need them. So at this point I don't know how many I'm going to be using of each color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the deco mesh and I'm going to scrunch it up in the middle from both sides. And then I'm going to take a zip tie. I got these little zip ties at Walmart. They come in a package of black and white. And I'm just going to zip tie that together. And then I'm going to cut the end of the zip tie off. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these into little like staples so that I can put the deco mesh into the floral arrangement. So I'm going to go ahead and do these up and then we can go back to working on our floral arrangement. These are very easy to do and are a nice filler for in your floral arrangements. Then you don't have to use as many flowers. And there those are. So we're going to continue working on our floral arrangement and adding more pieces. So I'm going to add in some red deco mesh into what I've already done. And I'm just going to reach in here and put my little makeshift staple in. And we're going to pull this around some of the flowers. And we're going to do another one down here. So I'm going to add in some more red flowers. And we'll add in some yellow flowers. And I think I'm going to put this one in here just to give it a little pop. And then I'm going to turn this around and we're going to work on the other side. So we're going to go in here. We're going to add a piece of deco mesh and then some flowers. And I have another piece of deco mesh that I'm going to add in down here. And then I'm going to take a piece of wire and bend it and add in another one of my yellow deco meshes. And we're going to add this one in here. Kind of just like even it out on both sides. And we'll put it in around our flowers like that. Then we're going to add we need a few more red in here just to get it around this like that. And we're going to add another row of yellow. Oops. Get one that's been cut. And I think that's filling in very nicely. And then we're going to add some of our red deco mesh to the sides. And then we're going to start putting flowers in. I'll add this one up here. We're also going to go along the sides. I like these big roses I got because they cover more area on the styrofoam than some of the other flowers. I'm going to stick in a yellow one here. And I think we're going to add, like in the middles on the ends, a piece of yellow deco mesh. So we're just going to put one of our makeshift staples we make in here. Pop this in like that. Pull it around. And we can always put another yellow flower over here. And then add in some red ones. And as you can see, it's getting filled in on the sides. Let me add one of those there. And maybe another one here. There we go. And again, we're going to take one of these. Lost some of my littles. There they are. I'm going to take one of these. We're going to put it on here. And then add in like a rose here. Kind of feel like we need another carnation in there. That's yellow. So we're just going to add those in, and then I'm going to turn this like this. And I'm going to add this one on this side. Yeah. And while I have this yellow deco mesh piece here, I'm going to go ahead and add it into the center on this side and put in some of these yellow carnations around it. And as you can see, we're just filling in so that there are flowers everywhere. I'm going to leave like this part here on both the front and the back blank at the moment because I want to be able to come back and add in flowers. So I still need to add in a piece of deco mesh here, which I'm going to do. And then I'm going to add in this big rose on the end. And I think for the moment that is all we're going to do on the floral piece. Once I get some of the other pieces that go with this arrangement, I will add in those pieces. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how I created and designed the floral part of this table centerpiece. I hope that it gives you some ideas of how you could create one of your own. And don't forget to watch the video on the fake bake cake and the golden snitches, and also on how to cut craft foam with your Cricut, because all of these tutorials that I videotaped went into this design. Happy crafting!